Would you like a step-by-step way to communicate with the infinite mind and get creative ideas? Hello again, everyone. I'm Eli's dad with Project Eli, where we educate, lead, and inspire. And I've been receiving a number of requests from people to go over the thing that actually put me on the YouTube map, so to speak, which was an explanation of how to communicate with the infinite mind. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over that with you today. So be ready, here it comes. It's called Creating Your Desired Belief. Now, in order to reach the infinite mind and enlist its aid, your belief must be laser focused in your own mind. There can't be multiple distracting thoughts sending their vibrations into the universe, because that's similar to only placing one battery into a flashlight that requires two batteries. You can't generate the power to illuminate your way through the darkness and find the correct path to follow if there's not a connection with enough juice. The prohibiting challenge to overcome is similar to my challenge to maximize the use of a computer. In order to solve more problems with the computer, I first have to solve the problem of how to use the computer. You know, if you want to use your brain to its maximum, you have to solve the problem of how to use your brain to the maximum. It's a question of value. Is it worth my time to receive instruction in computerese to make use of this most useful tool? Well, the answer is a resounding yes, because it allows me to access more information and solutions. Now, the real issue is the answer to the following question. How can you convince your conscious mind that your vision is real? That is, that you have a true and strong belief when logic tells you otherwise. That's the crux of the matter, because the conscious mind is the gatekeeper to the unconscious mind. You see, a hypnotist cannot make you perform acts that your conscious mind knows are wrong, because hypnosis works through the subconscious. The conscious mind is the filter that delivers or prevents a connection to your subconscious through your belief in the accuracy of the thought in question. Because the conscious mind is going to ask, is it true? Is it logical? Is it morally correct? If the answer to these questions is, one of these questions is no, then there's going to be no admittance to the subconscious mind. How then can you give the conscious mind the slip? How do you solve the problem of connection that enables you to use the ultimate tool, collaboration with the infinite mind, to facilitate the solving of more problems? Well, the answer is that you use the conscious mind to activate the subconscious mind, to control the conscious mind, to give you access to the subconscious mind. Say what? Perhaps I better explain that. Let's say that you're an athlete, and if your coach wanted to teach you some footwork to improve your performance, which frequently they do, he would have you repeat the desired footwork over and over and over until you were able to master it. That would be accomplished through muscle memory. When you practice the desired procedure every day, it becomes part of your subconscious. It's similar to driving your car, walking to the next room, and blinking your eyes, because these are all acts that you may consciously control if you choose to, but they are, for the most part, performed subconsciously. As any athlete will tell you, you can perform a function subconsciously. Until you can perform a function subconsciously, you're never really going to be able to be truly proficient in its execution. So you're consciously performing an action until it becomes muscle memory. Then you're able to perform the action subconsciously, without a conscious effort. Once you've accomplished the ability to subconsciously create a belief that on its surface seems illogical, you then consciously insert that belief into your conscious mind. Therefore, you're able to bypass the gatekeeper. And only then will your subconscious mind accept that belief and allow the infinite intelligence to collaborate and create a solution. So to produce a strong enough belief to entice the infinite mind to collaborate with your subconscious, the first order of business is to learn to concentrate, focus, and remove all other distractions from your mind. So how do you get to Carnegie Hall? By practice, practice, practice. You create this skill of concentration until it becomes muscle memory. Here is a 9-step process that works, that you can use to get from where you are to where you want to be able to communicate with the infinite mind. First step, choose a room where you'll be undisturbed in silence. And sit comfortably erect in a comfortable chair, but don't lounge. Allow your thoughts to wander where they may, but sit perfectly still. That's the first step. That takes 3 or 4 days to do. Second, repeat the same thing we just went over. Relax, okay? Now, this time though, you're going to inhibit all thought. Now that's going to be difficult to do for more than a few minutes. When you're doing that exercise, you're going to realize the great number of thoughts that enter your mind. Be cognizant of that and repeat that for 4 or 5 days. This is going to take some time, folks. You don't get to be, my son Eli to be Steph Curry in 5 minutes. It's going to take some time. It's going to take some effort. Your question is it worth it? Step 3, repeat as we just did. At this time, mentally allow each of your body parts to completely relax. And you start with your toes, and you work your way north to your feet, and your ankles, and your calves, and your knees, and so on. Don't forget your shoulders, your neck, your jaw, and your eyes. Total relaxation is the objective, because this allows your mental faculties to exert their greatest freedom. And you'll be relieving all physical tension. And do that for 4 or 5 days. Step 4, repeat what we've already done. Leave all physical tension. And then mentally let go of all adverse conditions, such as hatred or anger, or worry, jealousy, envy, sorrow, trouble, or any other kind of disappointment. You're going to find that's difficult to do, but you can with practice. It takes practice and concentration of your intellect over your emotions. The length of time it takes to achieve the dismissal and elimination of all your negative thoughts, now that's going to vary from person to person. But you want to relieve all mental tension. Step 5. Okay, you relieve all physical tension, relax your body, relieve all mental tension. Then, picture in your mind a beautiful and ideal place and put yourself there mentally. Now that can be urban, it can be rural. Make your vision very detailed by your effort to concentrate. See the buildings, the grounds, the vegetation, the association, and the friends, if they're associated with your picture, as you'd like to see them. Now, when I personally am doing this, I'm sitting on a dock on a lake in Maine, and I can see the sun rising, the shimmering water, fish occasionally jumping above the water. I can feel the subtle breezes of the lake and hear the friendly voices of my friends and the sounds of the birds, the loons, talking to each other. I can see the shore of the lake and the multitude of trees that surround the smooth as glass surface of the water. This is my favorite spot, and it's my pleasure to recreate it in my mind. And do this exercise for a week or so for 10 or 15 minutes. All right, you see, we're building blocks here, aren't we? Number 6, repeat the things that we've already talked about. This time, though, instead of seeing your spot, visualize yourself talking to a close friend, whether they're living or not. Swap stories with your friend and engage in friendly conversation. Pay particular notice to changing facial expressions and the variations of tone in the voice and in laughter. Eli, my son, I speak to your grandfather often, as well as a variety of my friends. This is a good way to measure how successful you're becoming, a good way to as a yardstick to see how you're doing this particular exercise. Number 7, repeat, as we've already done, the physical and the mental tension. The new exercise is to visualize a finished product and work backwards until you have the rawest of materials. For example, I visualize the man walking on the moon, and I work backward in my mind to how the lunar module landed on the moon, then I see it separate from the mothership, how the mothership traveled through space, how the stages of the rocket separated after the ship was launched, the actual launch, moving the rocket from its location at Cape Kennedy to the launch pad, the piecing together of the rocket at the Cape, the parts of the rocket being constructed and assembled, and gathering the steel, the screws from the trucks to the assembly plant, and so on. So it's a beginning to end process, only in this case it's an end to beginning process. And the value of this exercise is to get you to look below the surface and envision details that when they get changed, they make the insignificant significant, and the uninteresting interesting, and the unimportant important. Little details. Details are a key, aren't they? It illuminates how things that are supposedly unimportant are then seen to be the only vital things in existence. Step 8. Go back and repeat what we talked about, relieving all physical and mental tension. And the next exercise is to visualize your favorite plant or flower and bring it from the unseen to the seen. Plant the seed, water it, care for it, place it where it's going to receive direct sunlight, and then see the seed burst and see your plant become a living thing. You see the roots develop and shoot out in all directions and subdividing into millions of cells. Watch the branches form and then the leaves. See the small buds develop and unfold as your favorite flower takes its shape. And then smell its fragrance. Okay, you want to get all your senses involved. When you've created your vision and it becomes part of your spirit and becomes very real to you, you are creating an impassioned belief. You're learning to concentrate, and by repetition, the process will become part of your subconscious through muscle memory. You'll be able to get to the quiet, relaxed, concentration thinking aspect easily through repetition and muscle memory, and you'll recognize that the process is the same whether you're concentrating on a flower or a health issue or a business problem. Do remember, however, that speed is not your objective. Getting yourself to concentrate and believe is your one aim. And number 9, you got to remember to do this every day. If you don't, then the skills will start to erode. You find that it becomes a time of day that you're going to look forward to very much. For me, mornings work best. Do a revisualization as your last conscious act before falling asleep. Now, it takes discipline to build your mental muscles, just as it takes persistence and resolve to build your physical muscles. Just as looking in the mirror will not reveal results after your first visit to the gym, it takes time to put yourself in mental shape to create a belief that your conscious mind would ordinarily reject. And this is because it doesn't fit logically into the accepted pattern of belief held by the masses. You're programmed to think like the masses. Your objective is to get past the gatekeeper, the conscious mind, and activate the assistance of the subconscious mind, and most importantly, its partner, the infinite mind. Through repetition, you will become mentally skilled and be able to slip past the conscious mind and enter that venue that allows you to access your superpowers. And we all possess this ability. But you have to say to yourself, do I want to dedicate the time to learn how to use my brain correctly, just as I have to make the decision, do I want to dedicate my time to learn how to use the computer correctly? Simple concept, isn't it? And because we never end a meeting on a philosophical note, let's get out there and charge! I'm Eli's dad.